The Commodore was pleased when, at the age of 25, Cornel told him that he was going to marry Miss Ellen Williams, the daughter of a Hartford minister. "I have a divine mission to save that young man," Miss Williams had told her friends in explaining why she had agreed to marry the charming young hustler, and the Commodore believed she could. He had such respect for the young lady that he felt duty-bound to make sure she knew just what she was getting into. The Commodore went to call on her father. "Has your daughter plenty of silk dresses?" the Commodore asked Mr. Williams. "Well, my daughter, as I told you, is not wealthy. She has a few dresses like other young ladies in her station, but her wardrobe is not very extensive nor costly." "Has your daughter plenty of jewelry?" the Commodore continued. "No, sir. I have attempted to explain to you that I am in comparatively humble circumstances, and my daughter cannot afford jewelry. The reason I ask you is that if she did possess these articles of value, my son would take them and either pawn or sell them and throw away the proceeds at the gaming table. So I forewarn you and your daughter that I can't take any responsibility in this matter." When Cornel came to his father to ask for money to build a house in Hartford for his new bride, his father was adamant. "No, Cornel, you've got to show that you can be trusted before I trust you." Several days later, Cornel's wife tried her luck with her new father-in-law. "How much can you get along with?" the Commodore asked her. $10,000. He wrote a check, advising her to stretch it as far as possible since there would be no more. Several months later she again went to see her father-in-law. The Commodore braced himself, knowing what was coming, a request for more money. "Well, what now?" he demanded. "Nothing, Papa. Only I've brought back $1,500. It was more than we needed, and I've brought you what's left." The Commodore could hardly believe it. Cornel had been saved. He raised his son's allowance to $150 a month and then $200 a month. But unlike his brother, Cornel was never able to make his farm pay. He continued living well beyond his means, frequenting gambling dens and brothels in Manhattan, borrowing money from professional gamblers, assigning his allowance as security, writing bad checks, landing in debtor's prison on a number of occasions, and depending on his mother to bail him out, until it reached the point that the Commodore would not give Sophia any money, in the belief that she would simply turn around and give it to her wanton son. Finding himself in 1868 with outstanding indebtedness of $80,000 and no assets, Cornel declared bankruptcy. Faithful wife and tireless worker, Sophia fared no better than her children in the Commodore's eyes. In the summer of 1846, when the Commodore was 52 and Sophia was 51, he fell in love with his children's comely young governess, the latest of an endless series of dalliances, but the first within his house. It was difficult having Sophia at home, so he sent her on a trip to Canada with one of his daughters. When the beleaguered governess quit, it fell to the obedient Billy to secure another buxom maid to fill her position. "I'll find some woman to take her place," Billy noted. "The old man is bound to fall under the influence of some woman, and I'll have that woman appointed." While his wife was away, the Commodore was busy indeed. Having decided that he had to be closer to the center of business, he began constructing a 4-story brick and brownstone townhouse in New York City at 10 Washington Place, a quiet street between Washington Square and Broadway. Complete with stables in the rear, the house cost the Commodore $55,000. Upon her return, Sophia, for the first time in her life, stood up to her husband and refused to leave her home on Staten Island and move to the city. The Commodore could not believe what he was hearing. Clearly the poor woman was out of her mind. The Commodore told his children that their mother, who steadfastly refused to leave her friends on Staten Island, was in poor health and